Afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming in on this Hump Day Wednesday show. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to let the music play me in. Good afternoon, Mike. Hello, Buying Space. How are you today? Mick. What day is it? Hi, Mick. Whatever you'd like. Whatever you'd like, Mick. Hey, Jason, how are you? So how's everybody doing today? All you guys, girls on the Facebook side, come over to YouTube and share in the fun and frivolity, or however you say that word. We're going to go to pot 3 today, and hopefully it won't last that long, so we could do some questions and just chit chat. But a few people have asked about packing and frankenboxing to ship things out, so I wanted to touch base on that. I just want to wait until we get a few more people in. I know they keep strolling in, and there's just as many people on Facebook as there is on YouTube. So thanks for sharing the love. Thanks, Mick. Thank you for coming in, spending your afternoon with us here, just for a little while anyway. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hopefully everybody's safe and secure, happy and healthy with the family. I know it's kind of crazy still, nothing to do, but I figured let's make some money while we're home, selling off some old stuff we don't need anymore, stuff that maybe the kids left us and they went to go get married or went to college or whatever. Although if they're in college, they're back home. But stuff that's just generally not used anymore. Get some cash out of it. Sell it. Get some cash. No family, says Mick. Yeah, but Mick, if you've lived in a house for 2, 3, 5, 10 years, it's amazing what you would accumulate in a short period of time. You got to do a walk through your house, room by room, including the kitchen. Excuse me. I'm sure you will find some things that you're just not using anymore. You don't care about anymore. Stuff that if you said, well, I'm going to have the community or the neighborhood's going to have a garage sale, I'm going to put this stuff out. Well, instead of getting 25, 50 cents or $1, why not research it on eBay, see how much it goes for, and try to get more money for it? You'd be surprised. Like I said yesterday, hello, Dolly. People are, they're using this online selling as just money for their car payment, money for their vacation, fun money. These days, people need it for everyday money, living money. Hello, Philly Picker. How are you? So I wanted to just finish this up. And like I said, yesterday, Monday, it was all basics, from locating and identifying items in the house that are not needed anymore, that are excess, that my third wife took care of that. That was too funny. You could identify things in the house that are just not needed anymore and get some cash out of it. It's hidden money, basically. Oh, boy. Where to go from there, I have no idea. That was good, though. That was a good one. Let me just do one thing here. Excuse me. I want to show everybody something, too. I had thousands of comics, honest. No, I know what you mean by that. I, too, had more comics than I do now, but then I had a store and I kept all the key stuff for myself. But then I sold them. I sold them, bought some, sold them, bought some. Let me show everybody something here. Let me just bring it up here.
Okay, we have some.
All right. I know we still got people coming in. There's still people on Facebook. Hello, Landshark Picker. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. But check this out.
Okay, we have some auctions ending really soon, a few seconds. And I just want to show people what happens on your phone.
Sorry, the screen is very dark.
Holy crap. I don't know how many items that was. It's the most we've had closed at one time in a long time. But that means all of them are closed, and now the payments are coming in. So I just wanted to show everybody what that was like.
So how many? Oh, sorry. So how many times has that happened to everybody? That really, that was cool. That was too cool. Of course, you can see that was from a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. We were going back home for a little while, and I put everything on auction. And as you could see, it was $2, $3, $5, $10, stuff like that. So I made everything end on the same day, the same time, basically. And they just ended altogether. So then it was a frenzy. Back to Mass, yes. And then it was a frenzy just packing and getting everything shipped. So I thought that was interesting. I just wanted to share that with everybody. So I'm waiting for one person to come in that asked me about Frankenboxing, and I don't see her in the chat yet. So does anybody have any questions or anything, comments, concerns, anything at all? Hopefully you enjoyed the last 2 shows about identifying an item and then listing an item. And now today it's like, well, how do we get it sold, and what happens if and when it does sell? So I wanted to just hit on that. Excuse me. And I have not done anything, because I know that came up yesterday also. I have not done anything with the name yet. What's the temperature there today? 87, I think, again. Last time I checked, I think it was 87. Feels like it's 94. Hot again. But we're supposed to get a really bad storm. It's windy as hell. We're supposed to get a bad storm. I don't know if you could see up. No, I can't turn the camera. It's like 60 here, yeah. 73 in Jacksonville. Nice. I'd like 73. I'd like 68 year round, but I can't get that. All right, so let's just move along, and I'm sure people can catch up or just review. Oh, I hate it, Mick. I hate it. It's just enough's enough. So you have your listings on eBay, and if you have a store, this is what your seller hub looks like. If you don't have a store, it's a little different. But you go to orders, and you go to awaiting shipment. Now I took care of all mine already. Awaiting payment. I have one that's awaiting payment, but it's really not. It was canceled, and I no matter what I do, I can't get rid of this. Oh, it'd be helpful if I showed you what I'm talking about, right? Sorry. So once again, seller hub, orders, awaiting shipment, and all your shipments, your orders that are paid will be here. You go to orders, awaiting payment, excuse me. All those will be here, and you could just drop down and send them an invoice, and then once they're paid, it'll go to the next screen. But like I said, I can't get rid of this. I had to put a claim in, and because the guy said that PayPal wouldn't accept his payment. He was in Canada, I believe, or Europe, but he wanted the watch. And anyway, so then you go to ship the item. Now, a lot of times, most of us are using Pirate Ship. So I just have an example brought up here for a Pirate Ship. I'm going to send it to this guy. This is totally phony. If your name is really this and it's really your address, I apologize because I just made this up. You go down, you put the box size in. Let's say I have an 8 by 8 by 8, and it's 1 pound. Let's say it's 2 pounds even. And get rates. It's going to cost me $11.19 to ship this. And I buy the label. When I buy the label, it'll bring me to the next screen, which I'm not going to do. That'll have the tracking number and then a little icon here to click to print the label. So I'm going to copy that tracking number, go back to eBay and say, it's going to say put in the shipping. So I put that tracking number in. Now eBay knows it's shipped already. And I didn't use eBay shipping because Pirate Ship will technically give you a better price. So the item, it's in an 8x8 box. And it's $11. So when I'm shipping, or even when I get stuff, because I do buy, I will keep parts of boxes. I will keep good parts of boxes. I look at it as just cardboard. So this is what I'm going to ship. All right. It's a 2-pack of CDRs. Now, this can go media. Can I focus on the table? Yep. So this can go media. But I don't want to ship it just in this. All right? Because if I put this in a padded envelope, it could still, who knows what the post office is going to do. They could drop it or whatever. The cases could still crack and that type of stuff. So I go the extra. I take a piece of cardboard and I just wrap it. Put a piece of tape here. I tape this so this is squashed. I tape this side. So basically what that does is it keeps the unit still in the cardboard. Then I feel better about putting this in a padded envelope. But let's say I don't want to put it in a padded envelope. All right, now that's just one way. Because you want your customer to be happy with what they get. And if you saw the chat Monday and yesterday, people were saying, thank you very much. You packaged it very well. Thank you. Because I want them to get a product they bought from me the same way I would want to get a product. So that's the way I look at it. So let's say I want to ship it in this 8x8. So I'm going to dummy the bottom of the box first. I'm going to fold the flaps down and I put it in there. Now you see all the excess room that's in there. I'll move this over here so you could see. You see all the excess room that's in there. There's a lot. So what I want to do is I'm going to wrap this in bubble wrap probably 3 or 4 times. And then I put it in there and I'm going to use my box resizer. Let's see if you can see that. This is a box resizer. Okay. This is adjustable. All right. You adjust it for the size. And you see the tips there? They're sharp enough. They're not super sharp, but they're sharp enough. So, and just in case, you go to Amazon, type in box resizer, and there's several that come up. You don't need fancy. I think this is the one that I have. This one is just a little bit fancier, I guess. Mine cost me at the time, I think I paid $6 or $7 for it, shipped. So they're, they all do the same thing. One thing they do. That's it. That's all you needed to do is one job. So, but just type in box resizer and see what comes up. You can even look on eBay and see what comes up there. So I get my box resizer. I put the item in and put the box resizer on it, and then lower this onto the flap. Just like that. So it's on it. Now what I do is I bring it up about a half an inch and then tighten it. A half an inch to an inch. I do that because I'm going to bubble wrap. I want to make room for the bubble wrap. So then I take the item out, fold the flap down, in, push the resizer against the side, and just follow. So down, against, and follow. Down, against, and follow. All you're doing is you're rolling that roll thing on the bottom against the cardboard. And that's it. Now, I know I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can light up the inside so you can see the dip. All right, you see the divots that it makes right there? Little crooked there, but it's going to do its job. Right there. Right there, okay? Get your dollar utility knife. Go right about where that is. Watch out for your hand. And just cut up on the corner. Find out where it is on the corner. Same thing. Same thing. If you cut your hand, I'm not responsible. All right. Separate the sides. You may have to cut it a little bit more. I'm just doing this fast. Okay. Then what you do is you put your hand in to where that cut is, that indentation you made, and just push against your fingers. And it folds it where those divots were. Put your hand in, your fingers against the wall. Push down. Same thing on every side. All right. Now, if this was wrapped, drop it in. I have padding on all sides. Fold it in. Too big. So you have to cut this off. Cut this flap off. Not only are you cutting off the flap, I would do the other side too, but you're saving on a little weight. So down, down, over, still too big. Cut that flap off, down. If I cut this one, it's not going to meet, so that's okay. It's going to overhang. I still cut it off. Tape, tape, tape. All set. Now you went from an 8x8x8 to an 8x8x4. Not that it's going to mean much difference in price. And then I save these. It's not going to mean much difference in price. It's just sometimes it means a little difference in price, but it saves you from a lot of bubble wrap, a lot of unnecessary fill in the box. So if I have something that is just the size of the box, I still want to drop the box down. Hello, William. William, come over to the YouTube channel and you can chat along with everybody. Because right now only I can see your chat. So if I was to put something in that's almost the size of the box, this is one of the reasons I save my excess cardboard. Now this is just a little bit too big. So what I do is I would trim this down, watch your fingers. I always tell everybody, always cut away from yourself, but I don't do what I don't say what I practice what I preach. So I make corners, and this will still fold the other way also. So now that I made a corner, I will put it in there, put the item in, I make, do another one, put it in that one, that one, that one. I'm just giving the box more support. Because, a lot of damage a lot of times happens on the corners. So this way I've just re-supported those corners and made myself a double wall box instead of a single wall. That's why I save just about all my excess cardboard, whether it's regular or old priority boxes. I might have gotten this and the front of it's no good, but the back of it was fine. So I still use it. So like I said, it's just a little bit, but if you go the extra mile, you can just about guarantee that it's you can't guarantee, but you could just guesstimate that your package item is going to make it to its destination with no damage. Because that's what you want. You don't want it to get to the client, the customer, and they say, "Oh, it's broken, it's lousy, the corner's smashed in or whatever." This way, it protects it, and they're getting it just the way they saw it, basically. So if we go back, let's go back to Pirate Ship. So now instead of an 8x8x8, it's an 8x8x4, and let's say it did save a little weight. Let's say now it's 1 pound 13. Wow. That goes to show you right there. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that you're not seeing while I'm doing it. Let me go back. So originally it was 1150 or 1130. Same person. I went from an 8x8x8 to an 8x8x4. I figured we lost a couple of ounces. Instead of 2 pounds, now I got it at 113. I went to get rates, and it saved a dollar plus just by Frankenboxing and saving some weight. So hope that made sense to everybody. And that's a real live demonstration with real sizes and stuff like that. So you can get an idea of just going the extra little bit. And it didn't take me long. Extra 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because I was explaining it. And it saved me close to $1.80 on shipping. Would you do that to save $1.80? Why not? Of course. It only makes sense. So that's it. That's one way to do the Frankenbox. The other way is without the resizer, and it's basically the same idea. You have your box. It's not cut yet. You have the item in there. Your knife has an adjustable blade. You can bring it all the way out or just a little bit. All right? So you want just a little bit. You put the knife on the item. Put it to the side of the box. Just drag it along. Every side. So basically what you're doing is scoring the inside of the box, similar to what the box resizer does. Cut your corners. All right. hold your fingers on the inside, right where the score line is, and bend the box in. Don't move your fingers. And it'll bend right on that score line. Similar to what a lot of people, you may have drywalled something, and it's the same way, same principle. You're scoring the drywall, it snaps, and you're all set. So without buying a box resizer, what are these, $1 for a knife? You can do the same thing. Just don't damage the product when you're laying the knife on top. And you'll notice when you lay the knife on top, it's not, you see there's a little gap there? Let me see if I can get something white behind it. No, there's a little gap there before the blade and the item. That's enough for your bubble wrap. So there's two ways to Frankenbox. There's one where you get the box cutter. There's another one where you get a box resizer. They both work equally as well as the other. One is just adjustable, kind of brainless. You just go around. The other way is you put the item in, score, cut, fold. Same thing. So I hope that made sense to everybody. And yeah, at least it's true. It will save you. Instead of going out and buying specialty size boxes. You know, a lot of times people get deals on boxes and they say, well, gee, I don't ship enough boxes. I don't ship enough items for boxes that I need that size. And so make the box whatever size you want it. If you got a deal on the boxes, why not? Hello, Cindy. How are you? And everybody else that came in, if I didn't say hi to you, hello. Thanks for coming in. We just went over shipping an item, doing a Frankenbox, which is making the box the size you need with packing material. Hello, old school picker. So you put the item in, bubble wrap it, put the box down to make it that size. It's nice and snug. I showed how I also do protecting the corners. Box in the bag, no, I didn't touch on that, but I can do that right now. I don't have a box ready to go, but let's just say, okay, this is no way near ready to ship, but let's just say this is ready to go. All right. It's 8x8. Let's say I have one of those giant eBay bags that are 14x18, I believe. I want to check on Pirate Ship. What is the difference that it would cost me? So it's the same address. All right. I'm on a box. Oh, I keep forgetting to clue you people on the same page as I am. Same address, California. I go from coast to coast so I can get an idea of just, I just had made up that address and I wanted to see what it costs coast to coast. So a box, 8x8x4, we figured it's 1 pound, 13 ounces. All right. I want to get rates. $9.56. Now, that's just if I was to slap a label on this box and have my person pick it up or drop it off at the post office. All right. Now, let's say I took this box and I put it in a bag. And I put it in one of those giant eBay bags, or I just put it in a bag, a plastic bag, but I taped up all the sides. So all it is it looks like a Christmas present in a plastic wrap. All right. I did check with the postmaster, and that's the way they want it. They don't want flaps hanging out because when it goes down the conveyor, the flaps could catch, screw up the whole works for a half hour, an hour. They would rather it all taped, nice, secure. So this box inside a bag, all right? Just think of it as I'm wrapping a Christmas present, but instead of using beautiful Christmas wrap or birthday wrap, I'm using a plastic bag. So I'm going to go from here. I'm going to do poly bag, soft bag, or bag in a box. Now, eBay, if you have a store, they make available your $25 once a quarter. You could buy their shipping material. They do have the giant bags. They don't have like an 18 by 18 bag. I think the one I have is 18 by 14. And I wouldn't suggest buying shipping 18 by 18 bags. I would use contractor bags. Why pay $2 a bag when you can get a whole box for like $9? So it's the same. It's going to still be 8 by 8 because I'm going to wrap all the edges and I'm going to tape it shut. It's still going to be 1.13 ounces because what does a bag weigh? Half an ounce? Get rates. So it saved $1 by doing it that way. It's still going priority. The other way still does priority. It's just that now it's in a bag. They do this because they get the discount. They're doing cubic. eBay's shipping doesn't do that. We can't do cubic with eBay. It's basic, you want to ship it in a priority box, in your box, padded envelope, et cetera, et cetera. So by putting it in a bag, taping it shut, you could save an extra $1. So now think about the original. 8 by 8 by 8 was $11.30, $11.40, I forget exactly. So if we went from that to box in a bag, now we saved almost $4. So that's a great savings. I did, Lisa. I did. Because the last time I did this, I contacted Pirate Ship because I wanted them to come on the show. Hello, Fishing in Pickin'. I asked Pirate Ship, I said, listen, people are flipping out about this box in a bag thing. And I says, I went to my postmaster and I showed him, I says, this is what I have. And it's cubic, ship rate. I says, what do you think? I says, so he says, no, you did it exactly right. He says, we don't want the corners flapping around. I guess if it's in a small one, a small item in like the priority padded envelope, that's a different story because that's letter size bag. But when you go into box in a bag, he said something to that effect. He says that's where the difference is. He says because these go down a conveyor belt and they could get stuck. He says we prefer you close the flaps. Whereas the envelopes tend to stand on an end. They could still get caught, he says, but there's he mentioned the conveyor belt is different with a box than with the padded and flat rate envelopes. The shaft, he said, is like this thick compared to the boxes where there are no edges. It's just a conveyor belt and it just goes. I guess he worked there like that, and I don't understand it myself. I never saw one in the back, but I did contact Pirate Ship, and they said, no, you have that right. That's why you see a lot of people. They just get the heavy duty contractor bags. Back home, we would call them leaf bags. Put the box in, and it can only be 18 inches maximum. That's all they're good for. Anything over that, you can't do it. So if you had a 16 by 16, you're good, you're fine. 16, 16, 16, you're fine. But back home, we would call them lawn and leaf bags. 3 mil. They're not Tyvek. You know, Tyvek is that stuff you just can't, you need a razor to cut it. But they're commercial grade. And you just want to make sure you tape it up. That's all. No corners to get stuck anywhere. No, Lisa, I think that is the biggest size that they allow. I have never shipped an 18 by 18. If I did something like that, the weight, hello, Uncle Bees, the weight is usually too big. Like I sold some appliances that are, like 24 by 24, and I would just ship them FedEx home. But I did, like I said, I contacted Pirate Ship, and they said, no, you did explain it right. They said, we would love to come on with you, but we don't have the staff to do it. We're, he says, it's unfortunate we don't have that staff. And Dolly says, I have done it, but couldn't go any bigger than 16 by 16. Dolly, I did send you some information. Pirate Ship measure bag, not the box. Okay, but if you measure the bag, it's going to be well over 18, and then you're not going to see the bag, the extra bag, because you're going to tape it against the box. And I think somebody said something to the effect, it's almost like shrink wrapping the box. It's on the same premise. That's why you're going to see some of these boxes with this wrap on them. And there's some people out there, they don't even use a box. They just throw all the stuff that you buy from them in a plastic bag and tape the hell out of the plastic bag. And it looks like you're getting a kilo of something. I mean, there's no protection at all. At least with the box, you're still getting some protection in it. Okay, Lisa, we'll have to agree to disagree. They did give me a link. I'll find it in my email and I will put it on the comments, hopefully tonight. But I think the main thing is you have to ask your local postmaster, because that's what I did. Is I went, because usually I was there at minimum once a day, but every single day. And once I started using Pirate Ship, I said, I just want to verify with this. Can you just answer a couple of questions? Yeah, no problem. And he just went off. He said, no, this is what you got to do. And you got to do this because we don't want it to get stuck. And it goes on this huge conveyor. And he said, it's not the same as an envelope. And he just it's obvious he started from the bottom before he became a postmaster. Hello, 9 Pound. How are you? NPH, 9 Pound hammer. Measure the bag. Okay. So what happens, Lisa, what happens if you got a square bag? Let's say you're mailing a 16 by 16 box and you found and you paid for a 16 by 16 bag. It had gussets, so instead of being a bag like this, it's like this. So you just fit the box in. What's the difference? Just packing. So, but the best thing to do is probably a lot of you go to your post office, several times a week. Just ask. That's all. Not necessarily, Lisa. You can buy the special bags with the gussets. They're called gussets. They'll open up. So, and it's still a bag. Similar to I say old style, but they still sell them. The paper bags, similar to that, where they're square, not like this, they're square. But just ask your postmaster. Say, listen, this is one of the items that's available to us, and what are your rules on it? And see what they say. But like I said, now I've been doing it for 2 years, and after he told me that, and I've sent many, many packages, not one has come back for an issue at all. The label goes right on the outside, and it's off. And I know many, many people across the country that are using it the exact same way. No problems whatsoever. I've never heard anybody come back and say, well, my postmaster doesn't like it, or my postmaster won't approve it. I don't know if it's up to them actually to approve it or disapprove it. That would be something that would have to be approved by, I don't know, where the main post office is, Washington or something. It's not soft pack. Maybe that's what you're confused with, Lisa, or mistaken with, Lisa. It's cubic. Do I still have it up here? They call it cubic. Pirate Ship worked out the rates and the deals with the post office for cubic, priority mail cubic. If you go on to eBay or PayPal, we don't get that option. We just get priority mail, first class, medium mail. But this is cubic. So I think that's where the difference you're seeing. And that's the way he described it to me, is they're giving us cubic rates. So I think it even says that on the label, priority mail cubic. No need. Like I said, my postmaster is good with it. Ask your postmaster. Say, listen, it comes up as cubic. They're giving eBayers the cubic rate discount. We're shipping it cubic, priority mail cubic, and see what he says. But anybody else, because I think we could go on and on and on with this, but anything else from anybody? Cubic is the fastest, cheapest way. Yes, it is priority cubic soft pack. It's a special version of cubic. Do you know the cubic max weight and dimensions? For Pirate Ship, it's 18 inches. So you can't ship a box over the sizes can't be over 18 inches. If it is, then you might as well just go FedEx Home, which is you take it to a FedEx office. But hello, Gary, but the post office delivers it to you. So the FedEx does the shipping from your house to the main post office in the city where it's going, and then the post office does the home delivery. So they're saving the post office the freight. Yeah, if I'm going to do anything over 20 pounds, I'm going to do FedEx. Like I said, I still have a couple of appliances now that I would love to sell, but the shipping is just, on one of them, it's I think the shipping alone is probably $40. And it's just a convection oven. It's a countertop convection oven. It's the last one I have. So how is everybody doing? Wednesday, half of the week, not that it makes any difference. Every day is the same, right? What's everybody up to today? Adam had a good show on today. I caught a little bit of it as I was getting set up. I was listening in the background. Adam's exploits. Very cool. Have to get Adam on with me again so we could just talk shop. I think Uncle Bees came on with us once. Jimmy, if I remember. Still working on the name. Trying to convince Sandy. I want to get a schedule together for shows. We had a blast on our show this morning. I didn't know you had a show, Uncle Bees. Did you take over my 9 o'clock hour? I missed it. I'm sorry. It seems these days everybody's home. Everybody has a show now. Everybody's, I stumbled across one last night. Somebody saying I had to go to the store. They're actually doing a live broadcast. I had to go to the store and nobody was wearing their mask and I'm wearing my mask. And it's like, okay, you got to tell the world. 1 p.m. Eastern. Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Working on my buddy John, who's probably lurking in the background because the last couple of times we had a topic come up of comics and grading comics and acid-free protection and archival protection for your comic books. And he makes them and sells them. So I want to see if he'll come on and talk to us about that. And he just says, I am here. He's saying he might even put a coupon code for the listeners to get a deal on maybe some acid-free bags and boards. And they don't just do comics. John, tell us what else. It's magazines, comics. What else do you have archival protection on? I don't know if you still do the cards. You still do the card protection also for trading cards? Hopefully he'll answer. Oh, here we go. From coins to posters. I didn't know. Coins was new to me. I didn't know he did coins. That's cool. I do Mylar for that size. Okay. Still have some Mylar here too. Do you still do the protection for the graded books, John? Which is, already have your ad ready. He does, for all you budding comic artists out there, I think John still sells the comic art boards too. This is a sample he gave away at Comic-Con. So if you want to draw your own comic pages, he does that. He's big into art supplies. Put that back in a minute. We do sleeves, boxes. So you do long boxes, short boxes, this boxes, that boxes, any kind of comic boxes, magazine boxes, you got it. And I have a video on my YouTube channel. It's old. It's probably over 10, 15 years old now, maybe. Artboards and sketch cards. On the difference between his backing boards and bags to another company. how, you could protect against mold and mildew and that type of stuff, acid and that type of stuff. It's on my YouTube channel, comparing the competition to BC Mylar, I think it is. So hopefully John will be on with us. He's just waiting to update his studio works. Any other questions or concerns or comments from anyone? Anybody at all? I don't know what we talk about tomorrow yet. Maybe tomorrow might be a little sale. Who knows? I hate the dead air, so I'm always talking. From being in radio for a while, the dead air is like the death of a radio station or the death of a show. That's why I'm always talking. But if anybody has anything they want me to touch on or they would like to touch on, if anybody would like to come on with me sometime and talk and, we'll schedule a couple of topics and talk about them. Sourcing. I do have a video on that. I had Dolly on with me one day. How do you add a banner on eBay? All right. What do you mean a banner on eBay? You mean your eBay store? So if I go here, that's my store. You mean this banner? eBay store banner. Gary, is that what you're talking about? Let me see if he's answering. eBay store banner, yes. You just go in and manage your store. That's where you put everything in. You add your categories through here. I don't know if it's going to show any sensitive information. Advertising permission, store categories, edit store, marketing, pending emails. This is one thing I wish eBay would let us do. Right now, you can only solicit for people to say, yes, I would like to join your mailing list. I would like to mail them anyway. Promotions, but most of the places, this is manage my store. This is where you do it all. And I would imagine edit store, right? Toys and stuff, billboard. So manage store, and then you put your title in there, and then right here, add image, remove image, edit image. And this is what you need. 12 megabytes max, which is a good size file. 1200 pixels by 270 pixels. I know, John, it would be excellent if we could get those emails. So I just did this recently, Gary. I did a Google search because I use CorelDRAW and I wanted to start a page. I wanted to do an ad and I wanted to start it using pixels. And you can only do it by inches. So I had to convert pixels into inches. And you could do that just on Google. Convert 1200 pixels to inches, convert 270 pixels to inches. Go to Canva. Canva is free. I have never used it, but people swear by it. Don't click on the ad one. Click on the regular one on any time you do it. It's free. You could do. There is a paid version, but you could do free things on here. You can make banners, you can make thumbnails, you could do all that stuff. And just, maybe they have some, and I don't know, because like I said, I've never used it. Maybe they have a template for Facebook headers, Twitter headers, YouTube headers, eBay headers, stuff like that. Or best case scenario, go to Fiverr. I love this place. For some reason, though, lately, it doesn't allow LastPass to log me in directly. Yeah, I got that. This is Fiverr. All right, you go up here, find services, eBay store banner. So everybody that's done an eBay store custom banner will be on here, starting at $20, $25, $30, $10, $60. And this is their rating. Okay. So you can go as expensive or as cheap if you want. Now look at this one. He's a 5. He's only done 2 jobs. But if I click on him, I will do an eBay banner billboard. 1 size variation, 1 design, social background removal. And a lot of times they show you, not on this one, you can contact the seller and say, can I see some examples of your past work? And they'll usually take you to a page where they did all some work. You can click on reviews. Great service, thank you. Followed instructions well, created the exact design, blah, blah, blah. Fiverr is great if you don't want to do stuff. I love designing. I love doing that. But I was, when I was hot doing real estate, I didn't want to spend 2-3 hours doing a magazine ad. So I would jot some stuff down. I would pencil it out, scan it in as a PDF, send it to somebody on Fiverr, and I would go with the person that is going to give me 2 or 3 revisions, which means if I'm not happy with what they did, they will revise it 2, 3, 4 times. And it's fine. I've used several like that. So that's an idea. You just have to have an idea in mind. Well, what do you want for your banner? Because they're going to ask you the same thing. And 9 Pound Hammer had his logo done on Fiverr. You have to have a good idea. Canva, yes. You have to have a good idea what you want. Do you want it short, sweet, right to the point? Like mine, personally, I think mine's too busy. Mine has a lot of stuff, and it's probably not needed to have that. Maybe just the logo, and that's it. Maybe 1 or 2 pictures on each side of the logo with a comic and a toy and something and something. Just think of what you want to do. Just think of what you want to have. I'm sorry, I keep doing that. I keep saying things thinking you're looking at me through my eyes. Like I said, my logo, maybe just a picture of a toy here and a comic here, something there. Even down here, don't forget to add your featured pieces. Like I might as well add these because these just came in and they're pretty hot. Highest first gallery, publish. So then the featured items are there. A lot of people don't do their featured items. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times if you just don't want to spend the time to do it yourself, and you want somebody that can add a little pizzazz to it. I tell people, use your creative, influences on this, because I keep thinking the same way all the time. I want new eyes on my stuff. I want, a different look. My son always tells me, says, "Dad, I can always pick out your ads." Always. Which is true, because I'm a fan of certain fonts. I'm a fan of certain design, and I like it. But he always tells me, "Dad, I can always point out your ads." So, but any other questions from anybody? Thank you, everybody, for coming in again. Please hit the thumbs up for me. Why is the sky blue? That's about it. That is about it. I thought there was going to be cookies. Oh, Jerry. You've been hanging out with Dolly too long. So thank you once again. Like I said, thank you everybody for coming in. And I am desperately working on putting up a firm calendar for the shows. It's just tough because what's going on, people are now saying, well, everybody's working out of their house, so we can't afford to have somebody away from the phone to be with you for an hour. The same thing. So I'm working on it, but anybody has any ideas for a show topics or whatever, put them in the chat. I will see them. Text me, email me. I'll get them. And we'll go from there, because I do want this to be a cooperative thing. I want to do a lot of focus on some learning and stuff like that maybe other shows don't focus on, because there's so many shows. So that's it with that. I'm going to call it there. I don't know if anybody else is going to go over to Mr. Buys a Lot on Facebook. He does an auction. See about what he has today. I think today is movie posters. If you're not familiar with Mr. Buys a Lot, go to Susan Backer's Vintage Ephemera page on Facebook. He tends to have a lot of, no problem, Gary. He tends to have a lot of old paper, books, cards, movie posters, rock posters, all that stuff. So with that, I will say good afternoon. Thank you for coming, and I will see you tomorrow.